Toyota has been slow to enter the electric car market, but there may be a good reason for this. A lot of people just aren't ready for EVs, and hybrids aren't dead yet. In fact, the really good ones still have loads to offer, and the Toyota Yaris Cross proves it.
Wow. Would you look at that? I've been driving this around town for some time now, and 70 miles per gallon? 70! I mean, it's not perfect, but there is a lot to like about this little car. So as the name suggests, the Yaris Cross is a higher riding, more practical version of the ever so popular Yaris Supermini. So it runs on the same TNGA platform, one engine option, just the one. So it's got a 1.5 litre hybrid petrol with 3 cylinders. That's it. No other options. You get what you get. So what I want to say first, and get this out of the way, is a lot of people aren't buying EVs because of their price, because they're simply way more expensive than what we would class as normal cars. This is 24 grand, which isn't exactly expensive, but isn't exactly cheap either. So what do you get for your money?
Well, it's not the most elegant car in the world, but it looks all right. There's chunky body protection, pumped up wheel arches, and the option of 4-wheel drive to give the Yaris Cross some actual mud plugging ability. Be warned though, because the 397 litre boot shrinks to 320 litres with the 4-wheel drive version. Even so, that's still bigger than the standard Yaris, but not as good as rivals like the Ford Puma and the Renault Captur.
Okay, so this Yaris Cross isn't exactly the quickest, but it does have a trump card, which I'm going to explain to you in a minute. But look, overall, we've got 114 brake horsepower, 0 to 62 time of 11.2 seconds. But there is a knack to this car. There is a knack to enjoying it, and that is to take it smoothly. Relax. Take it easy. You do that, and you're absolutely onto a winner. You take this thing around town, and up to 30 miles an hour, it will be nice, smooth, silent electric mode. Lovely. But then you put your foot down, and then it gets a little bit strained. Okay, so the only option that you have when it comes to the auto box is CVT. And yeah, it tends to kind of flare up a little bit when you try and overtake, or if you're trying to get up a steep hill, etc. But again, take it nice and easy, and it'll be fine. You know, I mentioned the trump card earlier. That is efficiency, folks. My goodness, this thing will do 70 miles per gallon easily if you're just sort of driving around town and stuff. And then if you do a mixed bag, like if you're driving around town, you're going on the motorway, or you're driving on A roads and B roads, you'll easily get 60 miles per gallon. Easily. Which is fantastic. Especially this day and age where everything's getting very expensive. We like a very high miles per gallon. Well done, Toyota.
The Yaris Cross just delicately sips fuel, and if you're not ready to go all electric just yet, that could make it a great option for the time being. Toyota's expertise with hybrids is really put to good use here. But what about the rest of the car?
I mean, it's no GR Yaris, but it's good enough. I mean, this thing feels compact enough that you can quite happily drive it around town with no issues. And then you've got the bonus of the higher ride height. And actually, that doesn't cause that much body roll at all. I expected it to be a bit more rolly, but it's not really rolly. And it deals with corners very nimbly. Is nimbly a word? Nimbly. Nimbly. In a nimble manner. It's nimble. You know what I mean? But there are moments where it kind of loses its composure. So when you're driving it around town and stuff and it's all nice and quiet and lovely, then it's great. But when you get up to higher speeds, or when you're on really bumpy roads, then it's not the happiest, the ride. I wish it could just be that little bit softer. But then I suppose if you go softer, it's going to roll more, isn't it? Nah.
There's a fair bit of cabin noise as well, so the Yaris Cross isn't really a smooth, serene motorway mile muncher. But what about the interior?
Right, interior. This is classic Toyota, isn't it? I mean, all of the switchgear and all of that sort of stuff's been taken from the Yaris. It's not luxurious, but it's solid. That's what it is. It's solid. I'm not sure how I feel about this, the sort of 2-layer thing going on the dash, because then also having the screen plonked on the top, it looks just a little bit on the clunky, clumsy side. And I think then if you are just going to plonk the screen on there, I think I would rather, as a driver, I'd rather have it at an angle slightly more towards me, and then I might be able to forgive it a little bit more. But the screen itself, 9 inches, it's got the Toyota Smart Connect setup, which is all very nice and straightforward. I mean, you literally just press the buttons and stuff. It tells you where you need to go. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, sat-nav, all of the things that you need, really. And the graphics are quite nice. Oh, something else I really like. Climate controls. Why? Because it's buttons and twiddlies. So if you're a regular viewer to Auto Express, you'll know that I loves me a twiddly knob. Yes, I do. If you're not a regular viewer to Auto Express, this is your opportunity to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Oh, while I'm here, can I quickly mention this? The smallest handbrake in all the land. The smallest handbrake I ever did see. And you know what? I mentioned this earlier. And Tej, who's on camera today, was like, you can't handbrake shame, man. You can't handbrake shame. But we've done it anyway, we've done it. Can I also mention gloss black? This really bothers me. Because it's all well and good, like you clean it and then it looks nice, but 5 minutes later, it's dusty again. And then it just gets covered in fingerprints. So that annoys me. Oh, and another annoyance is about the rear seats. Oh, let me explain. Look. The doors don't open very wide, like at all. So say if you're trying to get a child seat in, or if you've got awkward bits, or if you're just an awkward person trying to get in the back of a car, that becomes a bit of a pain. And then, once you're in, a minute, there we go. Headroom's not wonderful. I mean, if you're taller than me, I'm 5'6". If you're taller than me, you're going to hit the roof. If you're my height and you've got your hair up, that's going to hit the roof.
Kids will fit perfectly in the back there, so hey look, if you're considering a hybrid, maybe have a cheeky little look at the Yaris Cross.